Hello everyone. I'm going to try to keep this video shorter, but characters at EPCOT is a lot to take in. There are a lot of characters to visit at EPCOT, but the times they are out and the locations where they are can be difficult to navigate. And I do believe this is because characters were an afterthought at EPCOT. When EPCOT was designed and built, it was not meant to be a Disney character kind of park. It was, a world showcase, like a World's Fair and the future. So they ended up adding characters to draw more people in and had to fit them where they could in times that they could. So we'll navigate this through park maps on the Disney mobile app, and I'll show you where they kind of hide these characters because they're not easy to find a lot of the times, and their schedules can change on the fly. Let's start with the My Disney Experience app, the Disney World app. If you don't have it, I definitely suggest getting it before your trip and getting familiar with it. It's available in the App Store and in the Google Play Store. So let's jump into it. Inside here, you'll probably start at a home page that looks similar to this. Down at the very bottom beside the home button is the map. Once you go to the map, you can either scroll to whatever park and zoom in and out that you'd like, or I prefer going up here to locations, choosing the park you want, which is EPCOT, apply. Now up here at the top, you can scroll through and see different things you can look for. We'll go to characters. As you zoom into the map, it starts showing you where different characters are. So up here in World Celebration, it is a lot easier to find the characters. These characters are at marked locations. They're pretty standard in their times and when they're available, and they're very easy to meet. So we'll go through this section pretty quickly. Your first spot will be as soon as you walk in the park here for Pluto. You click on it, it tells you what character there is. You click on it again, and it tells you what times they are. So basically he is out all day until probably about 4 o'clock. His last come out time is 3:40. And he is very easy to meet, very easy to find, and we'll show you exactly where he is. As you can see, he is located here as you enter the park, just to the right of Spaceship Earth before you go under it. Like I said, very easy to find Mr. Pluto. As we come further into the park, over here by Living with the Seas, Finding Nemo, and Journey of Water, you have Moana. She has less times than Pluto and some of the other characters at the front of the park. So if you want to see her, make sure you schedule appropriately. As you can see here on this schedule, she's got 10:45, 11:55, and her last time that she makes an appearance is 3 o'clock. So if Moana is on your must-do list, make sure you schedule accordingly. And as we walk past Journey of Water, the entrance there on your right, you will find Moana's meeting place just across the walkway under this shaded canopy. The line is over to the left. Like I said, they line up. They will cut the line off when they think they've reached a capacity to enter her time. And to kind of just give you an idea of where we are with her, you can see that Spaceship Earth is right there. We're on the back side of it. And then over to the left of her is the Seas with Nemo and Friends. So we are kind of back beside it, across from Journey of Water. In the dead center of World Celebration, we have the mouse himself meeting. Today, he is meeting with Goofy and Minnie, which has been the case here lately. I've heard of Donald being in there. But it's labeled as Mickey and Friends, and they are out all day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., the easiest set of characters to meet. So if you have other characters that have more strict schedules, make sure you prioritize them first, because Mickey and his friends will be there all day. Really easy to find. Just look for this huge building that says Mickey and Friends. It'll give you their wait times, and you just line up to meet the mouse, Goofy, and Minnie, or whoever he has joining him today. They're all in one big room, and you just go from one to the other. As we move over here to Guardians of the Galaxy, you can find Star-Lord. He is roaming around near the jump ship. He's not in a specific meet and greet area. The day we recorded this video, he showed on the schedule as he does here, but when we went over there, he is actually not available that day. He was out saving the galaxy. So these schedules aren't exact. So you might want to check with a cast member if you do not see the character you are looking for. Last but not least, in the front of the park, we have the park icon himself, Figment, in the Journey to Imagination Pavilion. Figment is available for 2 sets today, as you can see here, and that's how it is most of the time. Gets a break in the middle of the day. So if Figment is on your must-do list, make sure you get there before 3:45. On the day we filmed this, I actually had to help 2 different families find a Figment because he is at the exit of the ride. And if you don't want to ride the ride to see him, you can come around the side of the building here. And they do put a little sign here that says Meet Figment, but it just kind of points back to the building. So as you come around the back entrance, he has his own little meet and greet section here where you can line up and meet him. And if you get a chance, stick around and see his entrance and exit through the dream portal, because it lights up, it plays his voice, and it's just something to see. And I think if you're around one of his times where he goes in or out, you should definitely check it out. As we enter World Showcase, characters get harder to find and times get more strict. The first one you run into is the gazebo, where Asha from Wish will meet. Her times today, she had one earlier this morning, and she's got 3:55, 1:50, and 3 p.m. She's probably out for 15 to 20 minutes each time. So like I said with the other characters, you have to kind of look at the map at the beginning of the day and figure out what characters you want to prioritize, because it's going to be almost impossible to meet them all. And even though she was done for the day when we filmed this, I did want to show you the location of the gazebo, so that way, if you were there when she was out, you could go ahead and know where to line up and meet her. As we move over into the Mexico Pavilion, you will find none other than Donald Duck. Donald Duck is also one of the easier characters to meet, being one of the Fab Five. He is super popular. He is in his Mexican-inspired attire here, and as you can see by his schedule, he is out the majority of the day. As you look to the right of the Mexico Pavilion, standing with your back to World Showcase Lagoon, you will see this little brick temple-looking area over there to the side. That is where the duck himself meets. You can see him here coming out and welcoming guests to come meet with him. And like I said, super easy to meet. Most of the people pass by him and doesn't even recognize he's there because World Showcase is so crowded. But this is where you find the duck. Next around in World Showcase here is another popular yet very easy set of characters to meet. In Norway, you have Anna and Elsa. Anna and Elsa have their own meet and greet building and are there the majority of the day until 6:15. You will find that most characters in World Showcase are not out in the evening hours, so a character meet and greets are going to have to be the first part of your day if that's what you're prioritizing. As you look to the left of the Norwegian Pavilion, you'll see these set of buildings. And then all the way over here to the far left, you'll see the entrance to the Royal Summer House. And that is where you meet Queen Elsa and Miss Anna. They'll usually have their wait time posted up there, and you just line up. And then it is supposed to be the Royal Summer House, and that's kind of the decor as you go in and get to meet them. And this is a look at the outside of the Royal Summer House. As we continue our walk around World Showcase, we come to the China Pavilion, and none other than Mulan is meeting inside the China Pavilion. She is not out every day. This is one also that I've seen on schedule go into the Great Hall, and the cast members tell you she is not meeting. So check the schedule, check the times, and also, if you don't see her out, check with a cast member. To find Mulan, just enter the Great Hall, which is this building here with the big blue roof. As you come in the doors, right past the entrance, Mulan meets over here to the left. She was not meeting this day, even though she was on schedule, but we were able to catch her on Valentine's Day, and I will link a card up above so you can see her meeting in this spot on Valentine's Day. Continuing around World Showcase Lagoon, we get to the Germany Pavilion. Snow White is meeting here. She has her own little wishing well she meets at, and her times are often limited. So if Snow White is on your to-do list, make sure you check that schedule and get to the back of World Showcase. So all you have to do is look to the left of the Germany Pavilion, and Snow White will be meeting at her wishing well over here. It is a great location. She greets you, brings you to the wishing well, and it makes for an excellent photo opportunity to meet Disney's very first princess. At the back of World Showcase is the American Adventure. You won't see any characters on the map here, but if I zoom in, there's a walkway that doesn't show up on the map, and it is in between the Italian Pavilion and the American Adventure Pavilion. And in the afternoons, you will have surprise character meet and greets here. So as you see, over to our right is the American Adventure and Regal Eagle, and this is the walkway I'm talking about. There's one of the country bears meeting over here. I do believe it's Wendell, I think. And then we had Geppetto from Pinocchio out meeting. We also had a penguin from Mary Poppins, not a character you see out very often. And then Max was over here. That's Goofy's son, Max. And then all the way down the end on the left, we had Mr. Shmee from Captain Hook. So this only happens usually once a day. And it's usually early afternoon. You can try to get with a cast member to see if they can maybe give you a heads up if they know. A lot of the times they won't. And how can I say this? This is an area where characters that have come in town for special occasions may show up to meet with people before the big events come around. So around Halloween, we've seen Jack and Sally out in EPCOT before, and more Halloween type characters. Since they're in town, they want to meet with more people than just at the parties and get ready for the party. So you might find them here. So definitely check it out if you're in the early afternoon and around America. Keep an eye on this walkway. They come out. There's no photo pass people. It is just a character and a character attendant for each one. They will, however, take your phone or camera and take pictures for you. But very unique opportunity to get to meet some rare characters that would otherwise not be out in any of the parks. Halfway through our loop of World Showcase, we come into Morocco. Morocco is where you can meet Princess Jasmine. Princess Jasmine has limited availability, like Snow White does and so many of the other princesses in World Showcase. She meets in the back of the Morocco Pavilion, and we'll show you where to find her. As you make your way into the Morocco Pavilion, you just want to start heading to the back through this archway. Through the archway, you will continue back into the left, and you can kind of see a sign already coming up that has the lamp on it. So once you get through this archway, now you can see the Lamps of Wonder sign. You go to the right here, and this is the Lamps of Wonder section, and you will line up through this door. And her meet and greet area, and my reflection, is right inside here. She was not meeting this day, but again, we were able to see her and Aladdin here on Valentine's Day. So I will pop a card in here if you want to go check that video out. As we move around into France, you have Belle that meets on the waterfront in France. The great thing about this Belle character, it's not like the others in the other parks. She's not in her ball gown dress. This is Belle from the village in her blue dress with white apron. Very unique meet and greet. And again, limited hours like most of the princesses in World Showcase, so get there early and plan accordingly. And as you can see here, Belle comes out and meets just on a little side path right off the World Showcase Lagoon walkway. Nothing spectacular, and you'd pass right by if you didn't know any better. So look for Belle off here right beside World Showcase Lagoon. Not on the map today, because she's off and not meeting, is Sleeping Beauty, Princess Aurora. If you zoom in, she meets at this gazebo here in the France Pavilion. She was also off the day of we were out recording, but I'll show you where you can meet her, and she usually has limited times, much like the other princesses. If you are looking at the France Pavilion, and off to the side where Ratatouille goes back, on that path you'll find this gazebo. And this is where Sleeping Beauty, aka Princess Aurora, would be meeting if she was out. Back off the path a little bit, at the International Gateway, also known as EPCOT's second entrance, the back entrance, you'll find Daisy Duck. She is generally there every day, and she has a lot of meet and greet times. And if you're lucky, every once in a while, there'll be a second special character that is not on the map or listed that you can meet while you're down there meeting Miss Daisy Duck. So you see the back entrance to EPCOT there as we move around. There is Daisy. In the background is the French Pavilion, or the France Pavilion. And Daisy is meeting here, usually in this spot, every day. And then we were lucky enough to see Mickey out for a stroll. He had left his friends for a little while to come out here and say hello to people coming in the back entrance. And he was dressed in his traditional Mickey attire. As we move into the United Kingdom Pavilion, this is the last pavilion that has characters within World Showcase, and it has two. At the front of the pavilion, you have Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Very limited meet and greet times, like most of the others, in World Showcase. So again, if Alice is on your must-see list, make sure you plan accordingly, as World Showcase is large, and it'll be hard to run from Germany to UK or back to meet these princesses. So here we are in the UK Pavilion. Our back is to the pavilion. That is the walkway around World Showcase in the background. So you can kind of see where Alice is meeting with her back to the World Showcase walkway. And here it is from World Showcase walkway. You can see that she's right in front of the buildings and the line starts to her right. And last but definitely not least, in the very back of the UK Pavilion, hidden in Christopher Robin's room, you can meet none other than Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh has a lot more times than the other princesses that are out in World Showcase. He is easier to meet, harder to find, but yet easier to meet, and is in a great location inside a decorated Christopher Robin's room. And let's show you how you find him. Starting all the way in the back of the UK Pavilion, in the very back corner, you will find this inconspicuous green awning. And under that green awning, we'll start a line to meet none other than Winnie the Pooh. You are in Christopher Robin's room. It's a wonderful set, great place for pictures. And then that is where you will meet Winnie the Pooh himself. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you a lot. And if you have any questions, please comment below.